Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Ladies Study Group Kolkata, I welcome you all to our virtual event on celebration of Kolkata's very own festival, Durga Puja. The whole concept of Durga can be traced back to Kushan period and if not earlier. As old as the Vedas, the history of Durga is not only truly ancient, but the tenacity of the tradition down to the present makes her by far the oldest and the most resilient spiritual force in the history of mankind. Durga symbolizes women power. Our eminent speakers will discuss on Durga, the power and the glory. I invite Shuvaprasanna Bhattacharya onto the screen. Welcome to Ladies Study Group, Calcutta. Shubhada, and thank you for giving your time. Shubhada has held 55 solo exhibitions, written several books on arts, featured in a film with Ganta Gras, Shubha and Me, directed by Gautam Ghosh. He was awarded Bongo Vibhushan by government of West Bengal. He's founder of Artsacre. I invite Sumant Jayakrishnan onto the screen. Welcome.
Good evening.
I welcome Sumant Jayakrishnan onto the screen. Welcome to Ladies Study Group and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Sumant is a scenographer and installation artist of international repute. Recipient of Charles Wallace India Trust Award, Sanskriti Award and Fulbright Arts Fellowship. Some of the projects include Deepa Mehta's Water, Art Direction, the India Pavilion for the London Design Biennial, also designer for conceptual events for top international brands. I invite today's moderator, Jayasri Burman. Welcome to Ladies Study Group and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Jayasri is a contemporary Indian artist. The message through the range of her work is that of love, peace, and harmony. With these words, I hand over to Jayasri. Now, Jayasri, I request you to take over.
Thank you so much. First of all, good afternoon,
Jayasri,
everybody.
Where are you?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Jayasri.
It's not there.
Okay.
Can I speak? Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much to Ladies Study Group to give me the opportunity to converse with the legendary, well-known artist of India, Sri Shuvaprasanna Bhattacharya, and the brilliant, powerful, world-acclaimed Indian scenographer and installation artist, Sumant Jayakrishnan ji. Thank you very, very much. So I will start with my teacher, my guru, Shuvaprasanna ji, that my gratitude to you. And Shubhada, first I'm calling you Shubhada, please forgive me for that. Because I'm used to, and it will be much more easier for me to talk to you.
Why not?
Thank you. So first of all, I must say one thing to viewers and everybody and to Shubhada. What happened?
Fine. It's fine. We can hear you, Jayasri.
Yeah. हमारा यहाँ से? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So first of all, I must say, Shubhada, that today what I am, wherever I have reached and I can do paintings and reach to many people's heart because of you, your contribution in my life, my studies, because I have learned many things about the grammar of painting, colors and textures of painting, and the most important thing, and also the executing of the art. Like when you paint, and then after the painting, how it should be framed and how it should be shown in the gallery, that I have learned those days from Shubhada. Shubhada was excellent teacher. Encouragement was, I cannot tell you. I have a great respect for you, and
but
my
Jayasri,
pranam to you.
Jayasri, you are the most sincere, most creative person, and you dedicated even your life for painting. So it's a hats off to you, and as you achieve, it is my pride. It's no doubt. Please continue.
Thank you, Shubhada. So first, my thing is that Shubhada, as I know that you are from a very traditional family of values, and College Street area where Durga Puja, Kali Puja all the time used to happen, and still now it's happening. So Durga Puja must be in your heart and soul. And I know you do puja and you are really good worshipper of Shakti, and you have bhakti ras also. So I want to know about from you, and I know you are a very good storyteller. So please tell us the story of how the Durga Puja came to Bengali family and how it came to Bengal. What is the reason for that?
You see, the Udaygiri Hills cave, there is an image of iconic image of Durga, Shoti, and etc. If we see uh, that Udaygiri Hills, there is an image, and since then it spreaded all over India. And another thing that in Kerala, particularly Mohishashura Mardini, where they used to depict that uh, one is a human being, one is Oshura, the Mohishashura. It's altogether buffalo as well as the human body. And in Kerala, uh, actually, to see the charming body of Mahishasura, Durga actually appreciated, and Durga became one of the appreciator of Mahishasura. That's an old story. But you see, in Bengal, it's a very interesting thing, because it came much later, and it became a household actually festival during that Durga Puja time, particularly in Zamindar. Most of the Zamindar families in Kolkata, West Bengal, every district, they used to actually organize their home, their palace, Durga shop. That time the Durga was Akchala, within a chala, within a some space. They used to uh, uh, create idol by clay, uh, Durga and their children's. So that's way actually it was within the Jamindar family and Jamindar people. But later on, it became mostly to invite the Britishers or invite the local administrator. That time it was a British period. People used to enjoy in that time. That was mostly with, they used to drink, they used to dance, and it was more actually of enjoyment than the puja, than the worship or whatever. It was actually, if you see the Hutum Pachar Noksha by Kaliprasanna Singha, you could see the whole, because that Babu culture came during that period, and it was so funny activities
That's
during
right.
those days. Even some of the jamindar, they used to change the Durga motif as per their wish. So it was like that. Later on, uh, after few decades, it became Barwari. Barwari means that all together, the friends together, they used to uh, actually arrange the Durga Puja, and in autumn time, and it spreaded from there all over West Bengal, and particularly it is an autumn's festival with Mahishasura Mardini, and I know the very well known modeler Ghosh G Pal, Goshtocharan Pal, who actually uh, 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 divided with from Akchala to different images, different idol of Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kartik, Ganesh, and Durga in middle. So this was actually the basic history of that. And later on, the person like Ramesh Pal, it's unbelievable, sculptor. And I know when I was 7 years old, I used to actually wait for Chaturthi, because that day at Domkol, fire brigades, there is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
place. Every time, uh, uh, Ramesh Pal used to make different kind of images, and it's so fascinating. It's a mrinmoy to chinmoy. If you see
Yes.
the eyes, it's unbelievable. So this is one thing. It was continuing long time, but after that, when one very good color company, they actually actually they thought that they like to give prize of this ceremonial activities in Durga Puja. So Subhash Mukhopadhyay, very well-known poet, he actually wrote some sort of theme about that, how to judge, that it would be very good atmosphere, it would be aesthetically good, the whole place will be very calm, quiet, and the essence of the puja should be like this way. Accordingly, we started,
This
we
Bengali
were
Barwari Puja.
judge in that those days, and we started to giving number, who will be the first, who is the
So now,
second.
sorry, I'm just interrupting. Tell me
Hmm.
which Durga Puja, which Barwari Durga Puja, now you will give a marks. Like, you must go and visit this Durga Puja or
Uh,
this
uh,
Barwari Puja.
Jayasri, now it's a completely change. After that, it is no more only concentrated in Kumatoli. It is
Okay.
now very much young sculptor
Hmm.
from Government Art College, from different art college. They used to make idol, and they used to make a theme
Theme
on
Puja.
that.
Now
Theme
Theme
puja.
Puja is very much.
Theme
Now,
puja.
I am
And
asking. Now I am asking which Barwari Puja if I am coming to your place, or you say, Jayasri, this house you go and visit this Barwari Puja, মানে ঘরের পুজো, বাড়ির পুজো.
No, still now it is
Which one, like Mullik Bari, some
in
name you
not
give me.
in not Calcutta, particularly Debeder Bari. It's
Debeder Bari.
beautiful. They are continuing their
That I want
traditional
to know.
puja,
Traditionally happening.
and everything, even the puja from Shashti, Saptami, Ashtami. That Ashtami bhog is, so many people are coming to
Delicious.
take bhoga, delicious.
This
So
is delicious.
that is one of that. There is so many, not only in even Behara, there is also great
Lot
puja,
of-
their body, even and also in Bog Bazar and that sort of area, there is many houses. So they are continuing that way. So now it is gradually changing the whole thing
Scenario.
and scenario. And I'm really very happy that this way so many creative people are nowadays working, not only
Working.
idle, even the pandal,
Pandal.
the pandal and everything is they are trying to make with rhythm, with proper tune. Even couple of years back, unbelievable, from the matir bhad, a kind of clay teapot.
Clay teapot.
Out of clay teapot, they made pandal. There is unbelievable
installation. It's
yes,
fantastic.
It's a great
Undoubted.
installation, a great installation. So this is the time where the writer, the filmmaker, the poet, the sculptor, the painter, everybody is involved. And this nowadays, because of our government, it is a worldwide
Very encouraging.
festival.
Very
They are
encouraging. Very
encouraging,
encouraging.
and so many people are coming to see the puja.
Yes.
And it's one of the greatest festival of the
In
world,
Bengal.
because before that we used to talk about Germans, beer festival, October festival, because if you compare with that and our Durga Puja, it is unbelievable. So
thank you, Shubhada. I am just because time is very little. Sorry, I'm just. But I must say to the viewers that Shubhada is a dictionary, because these words, whatever he said everything. Like he said the Durga Puja, from where it started, why it started. Also, he described the Asura, Durga, and everything. Also, overall India. Also, he has described how the traditional things are still maintaining, and now in contemporary way, how the pandals and pujas are really doing very well. And he said that it is internationally very well known, but I will want that internationally it should grow, and economy should be very, very good in future. It should be more improved, and it should improve more. Thank you, Shubhada. Now I come to your painting. So how do you feel when you paint Durga, and what is the message behind those paintings?
I love, because during when I developed the icon series of icon, Durga was the first my image. I did lots of Durga image, even one painting which I did about 22 feet by 7 feet. It's a triptych. So even for cover, that book cover, or Sharadiya Shankha, the annual number of puja number, for that, and also for my shows, I kept couple of Durga image. So I did several times. And it's a fascinating that with 10 hands, it's a whole abstract imagination. And that Mahishashura. And as we know the story, that it's a woman power. Woman power showed that all the deva from heaven actually presented all the weapons to Durga to fought with evil power. So this is the actual symbol of woman power. So for me, and also the Oshura, it's a very interesting description in Chondi. So I read Chondi, and accordingly, I painted several painting and described the Durga.
And also, I think, Shubhada, in Chandi, the way they have described Durga, so you can really play around with the form and the abstractions you have brought in your painting, that we can see. You have used snakes, you have used lots of things, the color. My God, this is wonderful. So I will like to show some of his beautiful paintings, images to the viewers. And I know that all of you are going to enjoy the power of woman, the Shakti and the Bhakti of Shubhada's creations. Please show the images. Beautiful. Beautiful work. So, one more question to you. Many of our North Indian clients, like, god and goddesses with weapons, they don't like. Also, snakes, also some kinds of things, they say, don't paint all these things. We are very scared of that. How do you feel about it? And what do you feel about the cultural influences or collectors' sentiments?
If we think about the eastern part of India, and from Tibet to Kolkata, there is some sort of influence uh, uh, of 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 tantra. So in tantra, there is a Kali, Mahakali, even part of Durga also. In that way, we used to depict. So naturally, Kali, she's always with Khargo, the sword, and also with blood and many dead face of people. So that we accepted as if it's a abstraction, it's an image. One side, God is blessing to us. One side, God is actually trying to fight with evil power. So that, from that idea, from that philosophy, we used to depict the all the weapons and etc. to fight with evil power. That because it is a Shaktomo, it is not Vaishnava. If it is a Vaishnava, that is a different cult, and Shakta. So naturally, there is many people who believe in Shiva, Shakta, Kali, Durga, etc.
So what do you think, that when clients ask you, have you ever faced that the client have asked you, don't put the snakes when you are painting Durga? Have you ever faced it?
Not actually, because we used to, you also faced with some clients, because
Yeah.
they have some sort of
Continuously facing.
dislikings. So
Yeah.
what we could do, because we can't do,
Because
we are always trying to do our own thing. Because one day I know that one of my painting, there was a vulture's face.
yeah, I
uh,
know. I
it
know your
Yeah.
Vulture series.
Yeah. And the people didn't like that. Maybe after that, one Japanese customer came to me and bought with good price.
Actually, vultures cleans the dirty things, isn't it?
No, it
So
depends. It depends. You
it
see,
depends.
like Pacha, the owl. Owl
Hmm.
is a wise animal, a wise bird in Europe. Owl is very, very fond of many areas, and but owl is ullu for many people. Punjabis and many people didn't like ullu. So
Maharashtrian, they
what
don't
to
like
think?
owl.
And we our pacha is Lokhi
White
pacha.
pacha, Lokhi
Yeah,
pacha.
Lokhi
Yeah.
pacha.
So thank you very much, Shubhada. It is fantastic to talk to you. It's got to know so many things, but I can continue talking to you whole night, whole evening, but
Yes,
I
true,
have a time
true.
limit. I have to
Yes,
finish it within a limit.
yeah.
So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
So now I am coming to Sumanji. First of all, I am really feeling very, very honored to talk to you. And I must confess, I've become very big fan of you. Your works, of course, your installations, your works, and everything. At the same time, your dressing style, you look gorgeous. And what is the inspiration? First question, very funny questions. What is the inspiration behind this individuality? If you are standing in a crowd, people will notice you. Nobody can ignore you. What is the Raj behind this? Tell us that. First, I want to tell you, ask you.
I think it comes from in the sources come entirely from Indian costume, Indian outfit. It's there. It might be adapted differently, but it's comfortable. And I think as you become more yourself, you're confident to reflect the inside you outside, and to do it for yourself and to have fun. It's not for attention. It's not for, it's really just to reflect an alternate sense of it.
Yeah,
So
it's fantastic. And I will ask you just one little questions. So, you prefer Indian ethnic ornaments or global minimalistic style? Or depends,
everything.
everything? Yeah.
All of it. As an Indian, we are lucky. We can be minimalistic and very get to the essence of
Hmm.
something. You can also be very layered, and where less is not more, more is more. And that's, I
Yeah.
think, a gift we have as in the way we're brought up with all the
Brought.
yes,
And we are talking about Durga. So Durga is full of ornaments. So ornaments is very important in our Indian traditions because it shows the Rajakya, the glory, glamour, and also the power. I think it's very important also. Even I think, Sumanji, I think even in a tribal village in our country, if they don't have the jewelries, they will
yes,
use the flowers, isn't it?
yeah.
So it
No,
is so
I
beautiful.
I look for all kinds of ornamentation. I mean, one of my I would say my first introduction to Durga, in a sense, I must have been 4 years old. My aunt was getting married, and she was marrying a Bengali, and our origin is South Indian. My parents were in Arunachal. We came here, met the family in Calcutta. Then both families traveled down to Kerala. Now, Indian brides, Kerala brides, wear white and gold, and they cover their hair in jasmine, and they have all the jewelry and ornaments at the back, which is so that's one way to that's how it's decorated, and you pretend the jasmine covering your hair is actually a real hair, and it goes down to almost your ankles. A Bengali bride wears red and gold, and she also wears the crown, and the definition of decor is, and the jewelry is different. So what my aunt wore was pink and gold. She had the jasmine, she had the Indian jewelry, she also had the shola crown, she also
Yeah.
had the dots. So I was 4 years old, and I remember it so clearly. It's embedded in my head, in the sense of the strength and the power and the ownership of that
Correct.
feminine energy. And
Correct.
I think one of the things that, when you look at the image of Durga and Mahashi Asura, uh, it's actually a saying good and bad, but in a sense, I work a lot with energy. So the conclusion I've come to in the work I do is that, there is the dark and the light energy in you, and you're constantly working to either balance it, not let one overpower the other. So, I mean, for this, it becomes really representative. And it is for me, because, I worked with the form of Durga, who had arms on a cycle, legs, and it turns. It's a version of how do you use Durga for dance, with kids, for example. And the key thing about the feminine energy is how do you celebrate it, because it's such a delicate space, where you're talking about the strength of the feminine energy. And I come from a matrilineal line of people. So starting with my grandmother, who at 94 still holds power, and but I've also seen how, say, my aunt, who was a diplomat, and she was an ambassador and just retired recently, but I'm trying to imagine the amount of energy, power it would have taken, and the courage to have done that in a misogynistic and patriarchal system. Though we have the leeway to celebrate Durga or a Kali, it's still a very patriarchal world. So
Yes.
in a sense, I suppose what I do is I celebrate the different Durgas in my life. From Anjali Gopalan, who I was telling you about, who runs an animal shelter, to my grandmother, to another aunt, Manjula, who's an artist and a painter and a cartoonist and a writer, truly Renaissance in my head. She's very isolated, so, it doesn't matter. Uh, and so along the years, I think of Chandralekha, the dancer. I was sent to her when I was 24 and she was 64. I was petrified. White-haired lady, big bindi, lots of kajal. Now, some days I wake up in the morning and, leftover kajal, I'm looking at my white hair and saying, you're bringing out the Chandra in you, So it's a sense of all the people that you take in who become part of who you are. So how do you celebrate equally, evenly? It's not even equal. It's about just acknowledging. From theater directors I worked with to uh, friends that I have who are forces of energy and power. It's a struggle, So in a sense, when we talk about Durga, for me, the fact that it's celebrated so unconditionally, so completely, is wonderful, because it's an acknowledgement. At the same time, for example, those 5-6 years in Ahmedabad, where I was at design school, uh, Garba, the same nights, the same 9 days, were crazy. It was all about trance, because you're in the circles, people of all ages, little kids to old people, getting
Dancing.
into it till 5 and 6 in the morning. It's the same sense of community, you know. And what I was, and that sense of the community where it's everyone. I mean, whatever the origins, whether it's the British, the Zamindars or not, the point is now it is everyone's festival. And that's
Yes.
what's, and it becomes that phrase which one of my team members pulled out of me, the intangible cultural heritage, the ICH, where the oral traditions, the performing arts, the social practices, the rituals, festive events, the knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe, and traditional craftsmen, and the knowledge and techniques. So one of the things that gave me great joy 2 years ago, a friend of mine and an artist from Delhi, Asim Waqif, was invited by someone to come and do a pandal in Calcutta, and he
Yeah.
came, and I saw the photographs. It was all bamboo. It was a work of art, and I kind of feel in the inclusivity, because Durga Puja happens in Delhi. It happens in other places as well. Chittaranjan Park has a big history of it.
Durga Pujo.
Yes. But that inclusivity where people like Asim are invited from around the world, because it's an honor. It's an honor to be asked and to be part of your home. Calcutta
Yeah.
is your home.
Home.
Calcutta is a base. It's allowed this to happen. So there's an ownership to it. And some of these ideas, like you were talking about, Shubhada, about the ceramic, and I've been seeing other things which are recycled, which are sustainable. And one of the things that would be, which happens already, but it's, I suppose, as things shift and generations move, there's a lot of the old and the layers of the new. Now, how does the new stay meaningful and not, as many things have moved to, become commercial and become about consumption? I think that's the
Yes.
fine balance that one has to look for Durga Puja in the future.
Yeah.
Because that's something we struggle with, and social media and connectivity does that to us. Everything becomes, you see so much that everything becomes balanced against something else. So that's that sense of the stories that connect. Like, for example, Onam in Kerala, it's very similar. It's about
Yes.
Mahabali who comes back once a year around the same time. It's allowed, and he's also an asur, but he was a good man and a good king, and therefore he was allowed to come back. And there are many layers of story in it which are interesting to look at. So I would say it's this at some levels the goddess is also maybe a projection of a male fantasy of womanhood. I always wonder, what is it?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. That's a
Yeah,
fantastic.
that you have to be this, you're either this or not in between. But I have friends, like artists like Nilima Sheikh, who I work closely with. She's done what she's done gently, and she's really one of the most inherently graceful people I know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
admire and love. And
Yeah.
you don't have to be a strong, forceful person to be a Durga. You carry the strength in different ways. And I think that's also something interesting to engage with and acknowledge when it's there around you.
Yeah. Fantastic. You speak so well. Acha, so another thing, that means from 4 years, you are blessed and born as an artist. And it's wonderful to know your journey. But now I want to one little questions, and then I want to show your creative world. And you have worked so many medium, like theater, photography, wedding, exhibition abroad, here, film, everything together. So
Yeah.
viewer, please wait for a few minutes, and we are coming with his creations. But just one questions to you, and then it will come. Some of
Yes.
your work, walk us through your childhood inspirations. In Bengal, we generally played house, like Putul Ghar, like,
Yes.
huh? So, and becomes captured in that universe. So, was it the same for you? I would love to see and show your works to the viewers. So, please uh, explain us, because I want to know from where we understood, from where your vision came. You were, from your childhood, you were attracted to the jewelries, the beauty of the woman, the big eyes, the kajal, everything. A 4 saal, only 4 years. That was when you were mesmerized. So from where this landscaping you do, from where this inspiration came?
I think all of us as creative people, I won't even say artists. Sometimes it's possible when we are in tune with people and the world around us to become a channel for much larger energies than just yourself. You just have to listen and allow yourself to be, and then around you. I would say the key thing that I found earlier, and is to be able to stay light, to work with lightness, and to play. And when you do that, because for me it's a matter of all the information is there, and then really the creative space is almost, it's quite solitary in a sense, because it's like a meditative spot. There's all this information, things, and you start plucking things in to create that story. There's a story that you want to tell, or someone wants to tell, and you have to listen to figure out what the story is. So in the end, it's like a series of stories. So it's all the stories of the childhood, Indian, the Amar Chitra Kathas, the Phantoms, the Lord of the Rings, the Enid Blyton's, the Fox stories,
Yeah.
it's a lovely mixture,
Mixture.
and those stories are there, and you find certain thematics repeat, and those are the life stories. Actually, all stories are the same. There's there's a whole series of simple thematics that repeat. So I would say that most of us, what we are actually in the end, are storytellers of one kind or another. And I would say that's the source. And then you play with it and stay light and don't let it get you too heavy.
Fantastic. Please show his brilliant works. I will be very happy and grateful. Fantastic. So
Thank
as
you.
I say, Shubhada, we
Different
should,
word.
yeah, different word. We should invite him specially to do a Durga Puja with some of our artisans and art students, and good artists should be working
Sure.
with him,
Sure.
because
Surely.
it will give a internationally different view of Durga Puja, because it's
No doubt.
wonderful.
Already he came, but I'm sure that I will keep contact for some big, puja.
Shubhada,
Mhm.
he should come to
Okay,
do something. We are not going to
okay,
leave you. You have to come to
I
Calcutta
have
and
to.
create something, because we are not leaving you. First of
and
all,
and
and you,
also please visit Art Shaker.
yeah,
Yes.
and he has built beautiful things. He's a
I'm looking
really,
forward to that.
yeah, Shubhada is unbelievable. The way he has dealt his life, he studied, he walked, and he never stopped. He
Yeah.
fought, and he's still working, and he is proving that he's a painter and he's a good executor too for the artists and artisans and all artist students.
Thank
So
you.
I think your work has spoken everything. I think viewers also very happy to see your work, and we are like just so much happy looking at Shubhada's work. It was like it took us in a different world. Your work has took us to a different world. It's fantastic. I think I should be now finish this. Like now, I should wait for some questions. Then I can ask you, or Shumita you can ask them any questions from the viewers for Shubhada and Jaikishan, Shumat Jaikishan.
I think Jayasri, it's a firstly I must tell you it's a fantastic the way you have interacted with both great artists, and you have made the whole show very lively. Thank you so much. Well, a
Thank you,
few
Shumita.
a question. Uh, just let me choose which one. There are plenty of questions
You
from our
can ask
members.
directly to Shubhada or Jaikishan ji.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sumat.
Sumant, you really transformed us to a world of beauty and paradise, so to say, I must say. Fantastic installation pieces we have been able to see. I'm sure our members will also agree with me. Acha, there's a question for you whether the way a woman depicts Durga in art differs from a man's vision, and if so, how?
It depends on the man, I suppose. If you're empathetic and you see it, if I think of Kelucharan Mahapatra, the Odissi dancer,
Keluda dancer.
I'm
Shanti
Keluda. I
Niketan.
mean, I just, you wouldn't think you were looking at someone who's 80 years old. You just believed the fact that it was a woman telling a story. So I think that's how I would look at it. I think how much you tune in to that zone.
Well, there's a question for Shubhada also. The vision of Durga in Bengal is as a daughter visiting her parental home with her children. So, how does the divine and the human symbolism coexist in popular culture?
Now it is a character of Bengalis. Whatever we do, we used to actually accept them as if they are our family. So naturally, I know the day after Nobumi, when Dashami is to come, uh, it is tears of joy. Everywhere people are actually coming, and mostly women's didi, ma, সকলে মিলে they are uh, uh, playing Shidur, and they used to put Durga's you know head and etc. you know so all together, uh, as if someone who is living us for Bapir Badi or somewhere. And the Visarjan, that is also very interesting philosophy in behind, because after the puja, we used to put the image in the Ganges or any river, so that he he will come again. She will come again. She will actually, just now she's disappeared from our image, but she will come again to our house. So this is a character of people, Bengali people. We are always accepting our idol, our images, our the goddess. Everybody like that way. So this
So,
is the philosophy behind.
so very true. We wait for one more year again for Ma Durga to
And
come.
another thing which you actually asked to Sumant, there was some indication. I always feel that if a complete man should have some part of woman and man,
Ardhanarishwar.
Ardhanarishwar, because the power of woman and the energy of woman, the kindness of woman, and the madhurjo of woman, and the another part is paurush, that they're very hard. If you think about Chaitanya, if you think about Rabindranath Tagore, if you think about any genius, they have that part. Otherwise, it's a very boring, and they are not that sort of genius and creative. Both both power is very important to do something.
And I suppose
So,
continuation of that, it is when you accept the feminine in yourself and are comfortable with it, because otherwise the reactions that come usually come because of your fear of the energy, So in the end, it's entirely about fear, and fear makes us all do horrible things. So I
And
suppose dealing with that.
without knowing of uh, uh, woman psychology, woman's power, without understanding of woman, we can't do anything. It's very, very important to know the basic thing of woman. Then only I maybe do something to complete something.
so,
Because you
so
start the
nice.
journey from the woman's womb.
That is true. That is true. That is
Just
true.
I said jokingly.
No, one of the
As-
things I would see for Shubhada, I mean, we were talking about being the warrior. And I think that's something we all do at different points. And you carry one bit as the warrior, one bit as the. But the reason I'd love to see the space, because it's a center for art and craft, and it's a giving back, and it's a space of safety for people to create. And, so I would see his role in this as the healer, and that's very special. So congratulations for that, Shubhada, because I've heard a
Thank
lot
you.
about this space.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just one more question for Suman. Pandals as pieces of installation art. How do you see the rich expression of creativity in Puja Pandal design? Does Calcutta do enough to celebrate this unique expression of creativity?
Well, I'm not the right person to ask this question to, since I know not enough about Calcutta. Most of it is photographic. And I think Shubhada has already expressed it. I think Calcutta does a huge amount. It allows a freedom of material, of transformation, of not sticking to tradition, of moving beyond. I think in that sense, there's a huge openness of vision. And inherently, that's what I think of. The first thing when I think of the pandals. And I think these stories, I'm curious. I want to see what are the stories that are actually there. I don't know. Someone should do I mean, I'm sure there are many researchers, but I just want to look at all the stories, because everyone has a story. So what is the new stories, the newer ones, which are part of the culture of now, which still respect and honor the older layers, but you're managing to bridge. It's not even
The
bridge,
new.
it's building
New myth.
yes.
What do you mean? New myth.
Yeah, it's a reflection of the culture around. It's always, and that's what's lovely about it. It reflects the people in now, in the time now, the zeitgeist or whatever it is.
So we expect you to give a lot of thought on this, and in near future, next year when Ma Durga comes again, we want to have one installation somewhere in Kolkata of your
Sure,
creativity
sure.
of
Yeah.
Puja Pandal.
I will come and walk with you.
Yes.
Absolutely,
That
we
would
should.
be right.
I think it should be a collaborative project between
Yeah,
3 or 4 people.
I'm
joint
happy.
involvement. Yeah, great, great.
Shubhana, Raji
খুব
achi,
ভালো হবে।
I will learn
Yeah.
a lot from him.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we
Thank you.
have amongst us our moderator who was involved in asking brilliant questions. She herself is an artist of great repute. So our members would like to see some of her paintings and sculptures of Durga. So can we have the presentation?
It's not Durga.
Beautiful
লাস্ট ছবিটা
pieces
খুব
of art.
ভালো,
Vishwarup Darshan.
খুব সুন্দর, খুব সুন্দর।
Even Dhoritri is also excellent, beautiful. But
Because
Jayasri,
she's
we would like.
saying that, don't be wait for, to get the kindness from the people. Oh, my pretty girl. Oh, my little girl. When you are abused, when you are, destroyed by somebody. So you fight it out like a tiger and nurture
Tigress,
tigress, tigress, and you nurture the beautiful little young bird, that means young girl, because she is the future, because she is going to produce the healthy future. So you nurture the little girl.
Also, we'd like you to say what's your feeling when do your painting of Durga. What the feeling you have within you?
As we were discussing about Durga in Bengali family, because I am Bengali, brought up in Bengali. So Durga Puja in Navami day, my father and mother, they do Havan, and my father chants Chandi, used to chant Chandi part without getting the book. He will recites it. So I have grown up with that, and it was like Sumant, like looking at Durga idol, looking at my mother doing everything together, whole family she used to look after. And in the late evening, like 9 o'clock, she is upstairs on the roof, and she used to play sitar quietly, no viewers. She was only one going to the rooftop, quietly playing her sitar. So it was all the time the women nature, women strength, looking after everybody, doing things. So these are all like hidingly it was playing in me. Also
Yes.
in my life, my struggle, my journey, I have learned to get the strength from the Shakti. I started chanting Chandi, and I really feel it's not like that. I'm not very ritual. I don't believe in ritual, but ritual gives you some kind of cleanliness, pure feelings, good cleanliness, that's all. But spiritually I feel very strong, and I think Durga is a Shakti, and we need to show her as a Shakti, and all women should be very much proud of that, and they should keep that strength in them. Never to wait for any pettiness from anybody, never to think that, oh, I will be never to depend on anybody.
Yes.
Everybody should depend on you, and you should be proud. You should be feeling proud when you can look after 100 peoples.
Yes.
So 100 peoples, you have got that strength, but don't lose your feminism. Don't lose your femininity. Your mother, your sister, your wife, you have got every role, and God has given you the strength of doing all kind of strength. So that is my
Dashabhuja.
message.
Well, I think the
Yes.
one thing I must say, Jayasri, that's come out in this art, that what you've projected and shared with us and lifted us up is a lot of positivity and a lot of joy.
Yeah.
So, I think that's, foremost in you. I mean, strength, of course, and I
Suman,
understand
I
that.
feel positivity is very important nowadays, because in negative things within a second, in your watch, in your television, computer, mobile phone, you see within a second. Tsunami is happening, some volcanoes, some people died. We see the blood
Yes.
and khuna, everything. So now what is our job? To give the viewers, to give them positivity. I think so. And
Yes.
if we keep on producing or thinking of negativity all the time, ugly things all the time, your environment become more ugly. Why? This is my way of thought process. So
Yes.
everybody has their individual thoughts, because some people, we don't know how they suffer, maybe. So they are expressing their sufferings. I have got great respect for that.
Yes.
But I'm saying that, so like, it's like my way of showing that.
Yes. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you, and
Thank you so
very
much.
valuable message you have sent across to our members. And now I request our Vice President to give her vote of thanks. Sucheta.
Hi, good evening and namaste to all here. We are so very grateful to our contemporary creative stalwarts, respected Shuvaprasanna ji, Sumant ji, and Jayasri ji. Your contribution and dedication in the world of art, design, and culture is remarkable and renowned. Jayasri ji, you affectionately call your teacher a dictionary. Shubhada, he sure is, of tales and mythology. You, Joyshiji, have beautifully painted 9 forms of Shakti in all her glory and divinity. And Shubhada, your Chandi work of art marked a creative breakthrough. Sumanji, your work of scenography and design in variety of fields is incredible. Your matriarchal influence in your life makes you naturally understand Durga unconditionally. It was such an engaging talk that we wished for it to go on and on. As we know that Durga is not the daughter of one Deva, but she's the daughter of all Devas. She is Swayambhu. So let us, with folded hands, welcome Durga as our daughter in the Durga Puja celebrations year after year. Thank you. Over to you,
Thank you.
Sumitadi.
Thank you. Now
Thank you.
we express our thanks and gratitude to all our eminent speakers and moderator for engaging in an engrossing session on immortal women power. May Ma Durga empower our entire Ladies Study Group family with the 9 blessings of name, fame, health, wealth, happiness, humanity, knowledge, devotion, and power. With this, we come to the end of our program. Happy Puja to all of you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
once
Happy
again.
Puja.
Happy Puja.
Happy
Happy
Puja.
Puja.